Do you got to lean? Have you heard anything out there? Do you think they're content as for, right now and, okay, we're done. We're not shopping them anymore. We're going to stay with Mac Jones here and ride this out and go? Or do you think they're still going to flirt with possibilities throughout, the next month and in, to the draft process here?
I think it's no different than Lamar Jackson at this point. We got to see what happens in the draft. We got to see who's targeting quarterbacks and who gets them. We have to see who's targeting quarterbacks and who doesn't. There are the teams that we know or at least believe are looking at quarterbacks. There are the teams we don't know that are looking at quarterbacks. And once we get through round one, we get into that round two, round three. Now, even by then, like what do you get? How do you work this out? What does Mac Jones secure for the Patriots if there's a trade to be done? And would Robert Kraft even allow it to happen? Again, he loves the kid, or at least he seems to. And I know he defers to Bill Belichick when it comes to the construction of the team, but I'd like to think for some issues, he's going to be willing to say, I really don't want to do that. There's a greater chance the quarterback's going to be here next year than you are, Bill, at least for now. So let's not get too hasty. And I'm kidding, but I'm kind of not. Like, at some point, the owner's got to exercise his prerogative as the owner. So I just think it's complicated. But the big factor now is, where do the quarterbacks go in this year's draft, and what teams may still be looking, considering, pondering once we get past that first wave of quarterbacks who are picked?
I hear you, and there's issues there. I just would be shocked. I'd be shocked if anything's done with Mac Jones, especially now that we're back this late in the game. Again, I'm shocked even, with the news you broke yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I am. And because it just seems like an unpatriot type thing. But again, maybe that's what the world we're in right now. Just
everything seems that
there's
way.
a lot of that. Now. Right. Exactly what I mean. So that's understandable, or at least I'm like, damn, I don't know. Maybe things have changed there. But now we're getting into April. You start to get to, wait, the guys are in the building here. We're starting to implement the playbook once again. And Billy O'Brien's there. That's where I just go, this is the time of the year where, man, my history playing for Josh McDaniels, knowing how that team works through my dad all those years, and even working up there a little bit where, we have this conversation. This is where they frame their team for the year. I'd be shocked if they did anything from here on out. But, obviously going to keep my ear to the ground here and see what happens.
For our business, it's better if they don't, because this will be the gift that keeps on giving all year long. Because now, not that we weren't already paying attention, but now we're paying an extra degree of attention to any signs, any indications, any problems, any F-bombs, whatever Bill Belichick says or doesn't say when he's asked about quarterbacks. I mean, think about it. He's going to have press availabilities during the offseason program, during OTAs, mandatory minicamp, get into training camp. What's going on with the quarterback position? How long is this competition going to last? When are you going to pick a starter? When we played the sound the other day, it occurred to me, when you said they're both going to have a chance to play, it's like, does he mean they're both going to have a chance to be the guy who plays all the time, or does he mean they're both going to play? They're both going to have a chance to actually play in games. They're both going to play, like we thought they were setting up in that Bears game last year, that Monday night debacle when Chicago went in and unleashed Justin Fields. Don't they wish they had Justin Fields? And I know they're not going to go after Lamar Jackson. I've heard that just doesn't work for them. I think in part because they'd have to give up so many draft picks to get him, and then you got to pay him. But if there was an easy way for them to upgrade from Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi to Lamar Jackson, a guy that Bill Belichick has had a hard time defending against, that makes the team a lot better. And I'm sure there are some fans that are just confused and perplexed by the fact that they just don't go get him. But it is far more difficult to pull it off than it is to just say, yeah, he'd make us better.
Yeah.
But all these issues, all this dysfunction, throw in the fact that I do firmly believe last week Robert Kraft put Bill Belichick on the hot seat. It makes the Patriots a fascinating team to watch in 2023, especially as they try to stay above water in a division where they are potentially, if not likely, the number 4 team.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's fair to say all that. I mean, we all got it. We've never seen this type of stuff here. that's the problem with, being perfect for 20 years is you make a few mistakes and everybody's like, whoa, it's falling apart here. And it's like, no, they just missed the playoffs last year, and they were there the year before in the playoffs, and the rookie quarterback went to the playoffs, and he was really close to going to the playoffs in year 2 with a horrible offensive situation with the coaching and all of that. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that's why there's a little more talk about this as well. Like, I think it's crazy to have Bill Belichick on the hot seat. If I saw Mr. Kraft and he asked my opinion, I'd go, it's crazy talk, Mr. Kraft. I'm sorry. I love you. I got great respect for you. But damn, I mean, Bill Belichick hot seat, that just, I don't know. That doesn't even ring true in my ears. But I understand the world we live in now, and it's what have you done for me lately? But this Mac Jones, Bill Belichick thing, yeah, we've never really seen this. We haven't. And it does seem like there's definitely friction there. And I've never seen Belichick really have friction with a quarterback other than maybe Drew Bledsoe, where it wasn't friction rather than I'm just picking the other guy so you don't like me anymore. That's where it's rare too. Even for all the pushing of Tom Brady's buttons and all that, I don't think Brady ever, was mad at Bill Belichick to the point where it seemed like Mac Jones was this past year, or like frustrated with the whole situation. So that's also why I think it's, just odd and kind of glaring. We haven't seen them in these spots.
It is an amazing contrast, and maybe it's generational. And you never think of generational issues among football players because the older generation never hangs around long enough to be compared to the younger one. But Brady internalized it. Brady took it. Brady was a good soldier until he got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore. And then he was just done. Mac Jones is not taking it. Mac Jones is pushing back. Mac Jones isn't going to roll over. And again, it may be that younger players less inclined to take that guff from a head coach, even though Mac Jones took plenty of it from Nick Saban at Alabama. But we see a guy who's willing to be far more demonstrative, and we'd see Brady do it specifically directed to the offensive coordinator. There was never a question. There was never an incident. There was never a time when we thought Brady had an issue with Bill Belichick in game.
Right.
There was never an awkward exchange between the two of them. It was always Brady, chewing out Billy O'Brien,
or McDaniels,
chewing out Josh McDaniels, teammates. It was never directed at Bill Belichick. He took it from Bill for 20 years. And then that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, not taking it for 20 months.
Yeah. Well, like you've said all along. I mean, last year that was a hard spot to be put in, especially again when you've came from. I know this isn't Van Gogh here, and then all of a sudden you go to another guy who's like, wait, this guy writes stick figures. But I was just with Van Gogh, and now we're drawing stick figures. Wait, this doesn't seem right.
Hey.
And
I'm just figured out why he has the pencil in his ear.
Well, I'm trying to be funny in that. I'm not being literal, but you know what I'm saying there. And that's tough. It's frustrating as a quarterback. You know where you're going, wait, I'm being taught this, and whoa, he had all these great thoughts and why he called this play. And you're sitting in the meetings going, wait, I'm not hearing these same messages or thoughts anymore. We've gone basic, and I give him credit for being mature enough to speak up and address the problem. Most young quarterbacks would have just been like, all right, I don't know, I'm just going to trust it or whatever. And squeaky wheels get oiled in the NFL. That's what I do know. The good soldier thing never works for the good soldiers unless you're the best player on the team. But it's the good soldier guy is always the guy that gets crapped on in the NFL. Oh, we want you to be a team guy, and then they bow down to the guy who complains all the time in the locker room and does everything. And the team guy, they get shit on and go, well, he can handle it. He's a team guy. We'll just keep crapping on him. And I give him credit for that. I do.
Isn't that how it works everywhere, though?
Yeah, I guess so.
Isn't it?
I know.
Mean, really,
I know.
It's a nice microcosm of society,
right?
But people get confused, like, why is this so hard? Matt Patricia's been around football all these years. Why is it so hard for him to run an offense? You got to think about it. When you are an offensive mind or a defensive mind, whichever side of the ball you specialize in, what you are right now is the culmination of all the time you've spent studying. It's every year of experience you have. It's a slow-rolling snowball that gets larger and larger. And so, for a great offensive mind, you got this many years in. Pick a guy, Sean Payton, John Gruden, any great offensive mind, thinking about how to attack offenses or defenses, excuse me, over and over and over again, constantly being creative, ideas, this database in your brain of how to attack a defense. That's what you bring to the table. So now you take a guy like Josh McDaniels, who has been attacking defenses and coming up with ways to refine his offense and learning and improving and tweaking and getting better and better and better. You throw in a guy that's been a defensive coach all these years and he's starting from square one. Of course it's Van Gogh to stick figures.
Right.
Because it always starts with stick figures and it becomes Van Gogh.
Yeah.
I don't care how smart you are.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to start with stick figures before you even come close to approaching Van Gogh levels. That's the problem for Matt Patricia, and he did get put in a difficult spot. That's what Kraft said last week.
Very
it wasn't
tough.
fair to him.
Right.
And what's he going to say? No,
right.
I'm not going to accept this assignment.
Yeah.
They didn't have a spot for him on the defensive side of the ball. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
He's back, and they want to work him in to the coaching staff. He wants to coach again. Sorry, no room for you on defense. Oh, we got some room on offense. Let's give it a try. But it's Bill's fault. How does he not see that? How did he not? Again,
well,
he gave
I think
him a pass last year. It was happening because he's Bill Belichick.
Right.
We shouldn't have. We should have been screaming, this is going to be a disaster.
Well, we definitely questioned it, and we called it out during the year.
But not like we.
But maybe should have. Yeah, you're right. We trusted in, the almighty Bill Belichick. We did. Because we've seen him do some different things throughout his, years, and we've gone, man, I don't know about that. That seems weird. That seems odd. And then, they're 17-0, and in the playoffs, and you're like, well, I guess it wasn't that odd. They knew what they were doing. So that's, but yeah, a very tough situation. Matt Patricia's a good coach. That's where I don't want anybody to. He's a good coach. He knows a lot of football about a lot of different things. Yes, he got put in, like you said, a really tough situation where it was really almost impossible to succeed.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.